I don't smoke. That's my answer. I'm sticking with it. I don't smoke.
Hey, welcome back to the Prophetic Podcast.
Hey, y'all.
Kendrick is here again, and he dressed like me today. And I like it, though. We look like twins today. Slightly.
That's what you call it?
I'm like a old, like a younger, blacker Steve Jobs.
Well, I get, okay, I see the color. I see the color.
Yeah, like it's a gray and a black.
I
And I got a black, and we got white shoes, but I got on these like California-based socks. So, yeah, we back.
I got on these Ross-based, shout out to Ross.
Hey, y'all, we back. Another episode. What is it, like episode 50? Episode 57.
57, man. Shout out to 57.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Well, man. I mean, that's no small feat, bro. Like, I know a lot of people don't get to 57 episodes, bro. Like, not when they starting off.
No. I'm pretty proud of that. I mean, it's a random number. It's not like 60 or 75 or 100.
Yeah.
It's still it's getting higher into the double digits. So I'm hey man, thank you for doing this with me. Help me out with it, man.
Man, I appreciate the opportunity, bro.
Oh, dude, I love when you come by. It's fun. We have a good time. Ain't no pressure. It's always a good time. How you been?
Oh man, I've been lifted, man. Chill, bro. This guy here is
yeah.
I'm talking about in spirit, bro.
Oh. All right, you want to? There you go. Is that how you feeling lifted? There you go.
Man,
feeling shimmery, feeling happy today. You good?
Yeah, man. I'm blessed by the best, bro. Like I'm glad that I'm on top of the ground, bro, and the ground ain't on top of me.
That is the truth. How's your wife? Hey, Talia, how you doing? How's your wife?
Oh man, she's marvelous.
Yeah,
she out and about.
Of course,
pampering herself and living a good life.
How's the dog?
While we can. Oh man, he's living the best life. He at the house, kicked up, without a care in the world.
Yeah, just like mine is. Pickles, how you doing? Probably sleeping, drooling on shit, just running around with the baby or that, So yeah, what's been up with you though?
Oh man, just working on me, man. Just continuing to work on like personal branding and just putting some ideas together, taking some things off the paper and bringing them into fruition.
Gotcha.
So.
What's your? I wanted to ask you because we've been talking about this thing offline or off mic. What is your definition of personal brand? What does that mean to you?
My definition of personal branding probably would be, how you strategically present yourself, whether it be online or in person, but how you strategically present yourself to the people, in a way that you want to be distinguished, recognized, set apart as this, who you want to be, who or how you want to be known for.
And so what have you been doing to impact? Because you said you've been taking things off the paper, bringing them into fruition.
Yeah.
What have you been up to impact your personal brand, and what do you want your personal brand to be?
So in the background, been working on the next season of the Telling on Myself podcast. Yeah, shout out to
check that one out, please. It's a good one. I'll be on there too.
So we've been working on like putting our roster together, getting the content lined up, working on merch, working in those ways basically.
Yeah.
So that has been going towards personal brand. Just been thinking about different ideas that I want to do, like little soft launches, like through social media platforms, starting off like little mini series and so on and so forth, just to kind of give an idea and using those things to brand self as well.
So how does it align with you, the man? So when I see your when I look at your brand, what can I learn about you is the question. That's because that's always my question with the show too, is like, what do people get from me when they see this?
So my brand is actually going to be built on the backs of like vulnerability, transparency, so on and so forth. So what you'll get from like me, the man, is like that attempting to like breaking stigmas,
stereotypes and stuff,
breaking stereotypes if possible, breaking bad habits. And you'll essentially kind of get to see me as I try to not just evolve individually, but try to share that collectively, with other men. And so, Yeah, that's what you'll get. You'll basically so this type of brand, bro, is like if you're being like authentic with it, it's it's kind of like one of those self things.
It's synonymous with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
It makes me think of a guy, and he'll know who I'm talking about. He was an old tank general, like war vet, And we were in a meeting, and he said, I like you. You're intelligent, but you're full of shit. And I was like, what the fuck is that? It pissed me off, honestly, because I'm like, I'm thinking I'm presenting well in this meeting. I need to, and some people just see right through that shit.
Yeah.
Some people see right through the bullshit. They know you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And at that moment, this was a few years back, but it checked me on myself. Like, let's make sure that we are really aligned, because people can tell when you're not aligned.
For sure.
They can tell when what you're saying doesn't add up with your actions, doesn't add up with your body language, with your verbiage, with your energy. And so from that point on, I just started working on that part of my personal brand, is like making sure that I'm in alignment.
For sure.
Which for me, we talked about therapy and yoga. I just talked to a yoga instructor recently, like in the last episode. So stuff like that, just doing the wholesome things that I can do to try to align myself. And some of that stuff is kicking bad habits, and bad habits, they die hard sometimes. Sure. So for me, that's really been personal brand. This is obviously a brand too, but for first and foremost, I wanted to make sure I had my shit straight.
Yeah.
So when I step out the house and into the world, you see what you're supposed to see. So how are you managing that part of your life? When you step out the house, how do you manage to make sure that you're intact and that you present to the world the way that Kendrick wants to be seen?
Not caring about the opinions of others.
That's key.
So and when I say that really can sound cliche. However, I really mean that. Mm-hmm. I really do mean tapping into a place mentally where I'm very intentional about my approach to not allow thoughts, opinions, preferences of other people to like sway or change my thoughts or moods, and internally sway me internally at all. Mm-hmm. Not saying that I've totally mastered it, but it's definitely a work in progress. But I can see how beneficial it is. So that's encouraging to like kind of keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, just not really caring what people think, bro. Like just really truly understanding like people gonna have opinions all the time. And a lot of the times, like they're gonna have false opinions and they're gonna be passionate about a false opinion. And it's possible for people to be loud and wrong at the same time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's also the rule of 10.
Yeah.
4 people are gonna be in the middle, 3 will like it, 3 will hate it. It's all you can't please them all.
Yeah, you can't.
So I learned that too within this vision, is sticking to it. Like I've had so many people say, you should do this, you should do that, you should change this, you should change that, you should be here, you shouldn't be talking about that, you shouldn't say this, you can't curse because you're low. I think I told you about that, where you can't curse because the word prophetic is in your name. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I wrote this thing out, and I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And I'll find those people that love it, and they'll understand what the personal brand is that I bring and what I represent. And if you align with that, cool. And if you don't, well, you don't have to either.
Yeah,
change the channel,
and that's cool. Like it's cool to understand that like people may not align, like you say. People just may not like you or your content or just whatever. Like
sometimes they like your content, they don't like the person it's coming from too. You got to understand that. And you still got to be okay with that.
That's a fact. Also, bro, it's like you do have to be okay with that. It's giving people the right to be themselves.
People can't do that though. I don't believe that. I think people have a hard time doing that.
People have a hard time giving other people the right to be themselves.
Yeah, people can't let you just be.
Right, exactly.
So
but we talking about tapping in, like you. That's why we get so emotionally charged more often than not. Like whenever somebody does something that, like, let's say harshly criticizes or whatever, it does something to like evoke an emotional response from us. Mm-hmm. That's generally what it is, bro. Like us basically denying a person the right to have an opinion. And it can be the opposite of mine. Like that doesn't necessarily give me the right to be so like riled up about it.
It also doesn't make you my adversary either.
Yeah, don't make you my adversary.
We could also just have different opinions.
Yeah, that's fine.
I could build out the way I want to build out. I could be who I want to be. I could present the way I want to present. And that doesn't have to mean I'm your enemy.
Right.
We just might just do things differently. Yeah. But therein lies doing the hard thing too, though. The hard thing is to stand in your own shit, stand in your own square, stand in what you believe in and move forward. That's the hard thing. A lot of people get swayed one way or the other.
I would also like connect that with like emotional intelligence, bro. Like you have to have a form of emotional intelligence to be able to allow somebody to express an opinion or have a preference that's contrary to yours, and like you be civil with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I was ever modeled that. Like if you ever had a difference of opinion, like we got a beef now, like we got to fight.
That's what I'm used to too.
We can't be cool.
Yeah.
What, you don't like my favorite wrestler? Man, you trash. Like, just anything.
What
bro.
episode?
It started early.
It had to be like, this was before any of this came around. This was like before I ever started recording on video. Yeah. It might be like episode 16 or 14, somewhere around there, early on. I had a different opinion with a co-host off air. And he wanted to come to my house to whoop my ass. It was so bad. I'm for real.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
It was bad.
Y'all must have been talking about like politics, religion, something like that.
I couldn't even tell you what it was at this point because it was so long ago. But I remember he wanted to come to my house and whoop my ass. And I was like, we're not about to fight about no podcast shit. That's the craziest thing. No, we're not fighting with you. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'll talk to you when we record. So I didn't answer any of his phone calls on purpose for like 2 weeks.
Bro, that's wild, bro.
And we got on the show, and then it was a good show. Actually, we turned out to find common ground, and we ended up having an actual, brotherly moment where we bonded. Yeah. But I feel like if I had answered the phone, he would have been at my fucking doorstep. So I didn't answer the phone. That's probably some bitch shit. But I definitely, I'll talk to you next year or next week or next couple of weeks when we record. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't have to be that.
It don't, man.
You also don't get lucky to find common ground and have a bonding moment either. A lot of times it goes completely different than that. So
more often than not, bro. And that's unfortunate, dog. Like, and I'm learning that personally, firsthand. I still got people I gotta basically kind of like take the high road approach and reach out to and stuff like that or whatever. Just because, we have differences of opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not easy.
No.
But it has to be a willful decision. And so that's one of the things that I'm working on, which ties into personal branding, self-accountability. And yeah, bro.
Speaking of accountability, I was so proud of myself this week for doing just that, holding myself accountable. I had a list of things I had to get done for this show, the live show with you, the Google Doc we're supposed to be sharing, which I updated finally, goddamn. But I had to hold myself accountable, and also had to look at my vision and say, this is something that you wanted to do. This is exactly how you thought it would go. You didn't know when it was going to go this way, but it's okay though. And I looked back too, and I said, damn, there's a lot of people that aren't here no more. That's crazy. I was like, 2 years ago, this looked way different than it looks now. Yeah. I was like, that's okay though. Like, I was kind of proud of myself. I was like, because you stood on your own. Like, not everyone was going to believe in that shit. Yeah. Some people didn't even want to hear about it. You're talking about this fucking podcast too much. I'm like, well, it's called a business. You got to. If Target didn't advertise, would you be in there buying shit? Like, right. you gotta build your own brand. You gotta believe in it. Yeah. And so I was proud of myself this week for doing just that. The hard things that I had that we talked about. Sure. Choosing me first, not necessarily being selfish, but choosing. Okay, this is what I chose. This is what I want it to be. I got to keep that thing going, even if these people don't believe and people fall off and come back and come to it. Keep on going. So this week it was a lot of that too, holding myself accountable, getting things done, and still reassessing that I believed in this shit, like doing the hard shit.
What about in your personal life, bro? Has there been anything in your personal life where you did the hard thing recently?
Yeah. Or
even if you hadn't, it's something that you're thinking about, like, man, this is something I probably know I should do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The easiest way to say it is just cutting ties with people that need to be cut, that needed ties to be cut. Because sometimes you're carrying dead weight. And sometimes people just been there because it's been what's the word I'm looking for? Not a placeholder, but it's been common for you to have them in your life. It's just a part of your life. You're used to it. Complacency, that's the word I'm looking for. And so, yeah, I've had to recently not associate with people anymore. Not because they did anything bad to me or anything, but just it didn't serve me in the way that it used to. And so that also is a part of growing too. Knowing when it's time to say, we had a good run. It's been cool. And not that you tell them now, you just kind of move on about your day. Like, that's just me. And it's not a conversation that needs to be had because we're not fighting about anything. It ain't like that. It's just,
They just kind of find out over time, huh?
Yeah, it's like, damn, I ain't heard from nothing in a while. Like, yeah, right. Like, damn.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Oh, you good.
I'm in a nice
I ain't heard from him in a long time. Damn, let me hit him up, see what he's up to. And then you get that dry-ass response, like, it's because I'm on some other shit now. And my wavelength is dead. The conversations I've been having recently, some of them old conversations don't serve me because I'm in this different lane where things look very different going forward than they did before I started all this stuff. So it's like I gotta kind of find that lane where people are the people I need them to be. Does that make sense?
So,
I'm trying to be very nice about this shit.
It does
I'm
make
trying
sense,
to be
bro.
real nice about this shit. So,
all right, so it does make sense. So it just makes me wonder though, like, so when you just kind of just ghost people like that,
why don't say it like that?
yeah, I mean that's just kind of what it sounds like. So like when you ghost people, bro, like you don't think it's kind of unfair that you don't give people the chance, the opportunity to kind of grow in the areas that you feel like they lack
I'm
in?
probably ghosting them because they didn't grow. That's usually
so you've had a conversation with them before, like, hey, bro, you do this.
In
I don't
some
really like
regards,
this, bro.
yeah, and then some people is just I know what they own. I'm not trying to be on that.
So you just assume what they own.
I know.
And
I
then
see
you
what
just
they
be
own.
like, all right.
I know what they own. I see what they own. When you know, you know.
So you don't feel like people deserve the opportunity
fishing this shit out
to like know what they doing wrong. Okay, I get it. I get it.
And then some people just don't respect the situation you got going on either. There's that too. Some people just don't respect where you're at.
What you mean?
Some people can't see you in the life that you're in. Some people only hold you to what they've known. They know you to be, said person. What if you were, maybe you were a hoe, or maybe you were, irresponsible or not taking care of your responsibilities. Maybe you were a drunk. Maybe you were just hanging out. Maybe you were all these things at one point. And sometimes you get to this, or at some point you get to this point in your life, you should, where you choose to grow. Mm-hmm. And then when you grow, some people, they don't want to let you. It's like that old saying where they don't want to ever let Malcolm Little become Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that thing. It's like some people just don't want to let you be the new you. And so when you see that's the case, it's like, yeah, all right, well, it's good. I mean, you can hang with the old me, but he ain't going to be around because this is me now. This is where I'm headed. This is where I'm at. So,
yeah, I understand that.
I know what you're trying to get to.
I'm just asking questions, bro.
You don't have that scenario where you have to let people go? You just hold on to everybody?
Nah, man, I used to be a serial tie cutter.
Why you getting on me then? So you know what it is.
Because we talking about growing. That's just one of the areas that I feel like I've kind of grown in a noticeable sort of way.
In what way?
Well, I don't cut people off like talking about, bro. Like I'm willing to hear people out for like they opinions, they differences, they this, they that. Why they didn't. Whatever.
I get you. But I'm thinking, I would assume at this point in your life, the people around you are probably people that you want to be around for a long time, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's bullshit. No, it's not.
I mean, yeah, I don't
know who y'all know, who you know, but keep an eye on him.
I don't hope they won't be around. Like, nah.
No,
nah. People that's around.
Yeah, I've curated my crowd now.
I don't really have a big crowd. Like, it ain't that many people around.
Yeah.
Per se, especially at this point in life, man. Like, it's almost like when you start tasting little pieces of like success.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yes,
of course I'm gonna say that.
Yeah,
like
that's huge.
When you start tasting little pieces of success, and I really mean like micro doses of success.
Yeah.
And you kind of mix that with not just success that maybe just kind of like happen randomly, but success as a result of like actual work and effort. Man, it's different, bro. Like, you don't want to like not have that. You know what I'm saying?
It's that, and then you got to understand that people aren't ready for that. Like, even though in your soul you know this is what you want to do. Like, we talk every other day now, which is awesome. Thank you for that. But we found a way to converse every other day, and from what I can tell from you, I know this is what you want to do. I know you love podcasts. I know you love this media space. I do too. Not everybody will understand that. Not everyone has the vision to see why that's even a thing. I had someone tell me at some point, man, my wife wouldn't. Don't get mad. But my wife wouldn't let me do that because it doesn't seem like a viable source of income. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's terrible for your wife and your family. I'm sorry. But over here, we don't think like that.
Yeah.
We think unconventionally. It doesn't have to be a 9 to 5. We'd almost prefer it never be a 9 to 5. I hate clocking in. I love doing what I do, but I don't want to go there and do that for the rest of my life. Like, I would like to be my own boss at some point, right? That's the idea of all this shit. Not everyone's going to understand when you say that. Right. When you start talking about build outs and getting a space and having a staff and, being able to do your own thing, cutting a check, breaking into the black, these types of conversations, people don't get that kind of shit because most people are thinking about just, okay, I got to clock in, go to the grocery store.
That's cool.
And that's great. I'm not knocking that. It's just not.
Yeah, like
please.
That.
We need more of y'all
thinking like
that. Because if you get too many over here, it's going to start looking real saturated. But most people don't understand that. So I found that when I started heading that direction, the road started to narrow a little bit as far as who I kept in contact with.
Yeah.
And my mom used to always tell me this all the time. She's like, it's like climbing the mountains, son. She's like, you like to hike in mountains. Shit, you understand this? I'm like, yeah, okay. She's like, when you go up in the mountains, when you go travel, what happens when you get to the top? How is your bag as heavy as it was when you started? And I was like, that's a weird ass question. Like, what? So then I started thinking, I was like, well, no, because I'm drinking water along the way. Right? I got a lot of water. I got like a 5-liter pack. So I'm drinking water along the way, the whole way, sipping on my little shoulder thing. I got snacks. I'm eating that kind of shit. I'm getting rid of trash where I can. I'm lightening my load as I go up. And these things are called switchbacks. So you're going down and back, down and back, down and back, all the way up, right? She's like, when you get up there to the top, what happens? How heavy is your pack? I said, it's light. So I can traverse back down. It's super light. She said, that's how life works. You can't take everybody up the mountain with you. When you get to the top, your pack is going to be a lot lighter. The crowd that you started with at the bottom, they're not going to be there with you at the top because everyone's not going to be able to make the traverse. Everybody can't breathe in that air. Everybody can't get there with you. So once I started thinking of like life like that, it wasn't really that hard to make the decision to kind of go. As you say, ghost people, I don't look at it as ghosts, I look at it as a transition.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can see that, bro. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man. Yeah, life has transitions, indeed.
Yeah, but I used to tell my therapist, oh, man, I lost so many friends. She's like, you don't lose people. You transition from people. Stop saying you lost anything. You didn't lose anything. Yeah. You gained a lot. So how much insight did you gain from those situations? How much harder was it for you to do it this time than it was the first time? So like when you move on from people now, how hard is it? I was like, it's not at all. Like a fucking switch. I can get on and get ghosts. He's like, yeah, that's a transition, that's growth. It's because you gain so much insight from all these various scenarios that now when you get to this point in your life, you see the road. The road is pretty clear in your eyes. You know where you got to go, and you're not letting anything get in the way no more. Before, you were so deterred and disturbed about all these different things that were distracting you. And now, she's like, it's easy. The runway is clear.
How do you know when you're like separating yourself like that, or when you're like running from something, as if it's like a trauma response or something like that? Like a trauma response to like not, let's just say, deal with something head on. This is just like avoid it, run from it.
I used to do that with school a lot. So I probably shouldn't have been at the library for 18 hours, fam. Like there would be times I would go in the library from like 8 a.m. one day and leave at 4 a.m. the next day. Never leave the library. I might go down to like the little booth, a little snack shop, get some coffee, shit like that, take some Adderall, stay up all goddamn night, study. But a lot of times I was running from shit at home. You know, a lot of times I was running from all the family stuff I was talking, because that stuff kind of started back in that part of my life. And my grandfather had passed away too during all that stuff. So a lot of times I was just running from the pain because I was in between therapists and shit like that. So I wasn't really coping like I was supposed to be. You find yourself drinking or staying up late, trying to do other things which seem constructive. But really, man, I was just running. So I know what it looks like to run because I did it. Now I face things head on. And sometimes, and that process for me is a lot quicker because I've gone through so much shit. I've experienced so much stuff. So at this point, when I got to face something head on, I'm getting through it pretty quickly.
What does that look like for you, facing something head on?
If it's a conversation that needs to be had, then I'll have that conversation. If it's me needing to just move on in silence and not have to really have a conversation, you got to pick your battles. Not everybody's going to sit on the other side of the conversation and meet you halfway. So you get what I'm saying? So if I can gauge that situation based on intel that I have prior to, I might not have it. I might just move. Now, if I know I can have a civil conversation and we can part amicably, well, yeah, let's do that. That's the best route. That's the most, ideal route, but that's not how it always goes.
What are some of the signs of the person that you can just kind of just fade to the back with? Like where you just don't have no conversation.
The conversation hasn't changed in years. That's the main thing for me with people now. If I talk to you today, let's backtrack. Let's say this is 2000, 10, right? Let's make it even years so I can remember. 2010, I knew who I was hanging out with. If I talk to you in 2020 and we're having the same conversation from 2010, and it's not resonating with me anymore, but you're still, hey man, remember this one? Yeah, but no, like I've had that. I had this. I'm glad you asked me this. I had this conversation with somebody. He called me one day, and he was riding around in his car trying to find a parking spot in the parking garage at work. And he was like, man, look at this. Oh damn, she got a fat ass. I was like, hey man, can we talk about something else? This is the first time I ever said that too. It was probably very weird. He's like, what you mean? I said, I don't really want to talk about women. He's like, why? I said, because I don't care. I was like, I want to talk with you. I said, what you got going on business-wise or maybe like ideas? Like I wanted to ideate. I'd rather do that. And he just thought that was the weirdest shit ever because we had been on this wave of always talking about I got this number. When you're young. But I'm like, but that was like 10 years ago. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not on that shit. And I think I was phasing out of that part of my life too. I was like, I'm really not on that shit. So here we are, 2020. Let's say, let's go to 2022. Let's just move forward 2 years. Shit still wasn't changing. I was like, all right, man. So at that point, my phone calls stopped going to him. I didn't text as much. I removed myself from the group chats. Just didn't say shit. I'm that kind of person. I just disappeared. It notifies you on the iPhone too. This nigga left the group chat. Like, oh shit. Yeah. And then you get the text, hey man, why you leave the group chat, man? What the fuck? What's going on, man? I was like, oh man, I don't really use it that much, bro. I'm making up shit. But truthfully, it just wasn't serving me, bro. I wasn't trying to talk about that shit all day. All you talking about is ESPN and hoes. I don't care. Like, nobody's talking about real estate or investing or portfolios or workouts or something as simple as traveling to a new city. Nobody's trying to scale shit. Nobody's trying to build shit. Nobody's trying to be impactful. None of these conversations are fun. Like, to me, that's what's fun now. You want to talk about business. You want to talk about scaling. You want to talk about, getting funding to do a build out. You want to talk about real estate or properties, investment. That shit gets me hard, bro. I love that shit. No, excuse me, that's the truth. That's where the hard thing. But that's what serves me now.
I do not approve of this message whatsoever.
But that's what serves me now, man. That the other shit doesn't faze me no more, bro. I don't care.
So that's the signs of a person that you just fade to the back from. So hey, look, if y'all listening out there, don't be that person. Don't be the person that's constantly talking about hoes and ESPN. Back from 2010.
I don't care no more,
I ain't
man.
Rhyme, but,
I don't. For me, it's mental growth, man. I need to see maturity.
I feel you, bro.
Over time. I need to see you build some shit, man. Like, and even if you're not building some shit, scale your job, scale what you do have in front of you. Even if it's not you, you don't have to want to be me. You don't have to want to have a pod. You don't have to want to do all the things I do.
Man,
just scale your life.
Most people ain't that motivated, bro. So yeah, I'm glad you hang around motivated folks, bro.
If you're like this, you have to. Because if you're anything like me or you or Becky or any of these people that have sat on this couch and you hang out with people like that for too long, you'll start to slow down. And I can't slow down.
Yeah, I feel you.
Time is running out. It's of the essence. We're not guaranteed any of this shit. We can be gone tomorrow. I don't have time to play around with BS or ain't shit conversations. I don't want to be in it. I don't.
Yeah, it's understandable, bro. I concur.
Do you?
I do.
You don't fade away from people like that? Or do you even have people in your life like that?
I don't really have that many people in my life. Sometimes,
I'm sorry.
With the people in my life, sometimes I do fade away, but then I fade back in. So like, I come back in and I be like, hey, look, man, sorry I've been gone for a while, but I've been going through
ESPN.
I've been going through life. I'm sure y'all understand. If you don't understand, then hey.
So you fade back in.
Yeah.
So would you say you have a problem letting go?
Different areas of my life, probably. Yeah. But dude, as far as like people that just don't serve me no purpose,
you don't have none of that.
Nah, ain't true.
No, I think we're at an age where that's not. If you haven't figured it out by now, you're never gonna figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
Once you start,
I don't hang around you. If as far as like those examples of those types of people, I don't really have too many friends like that, bro. Like I got like a handful of friends that might from time to time randomly send me like a
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you.
Like a 2009
okay.
onionbooty.com GIF.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to help you.
I've been like, why did you send me that?
Why would you say that?
Why would you send me that?
The website don't even work no more. So I've heard.
That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, I'm at this point in my life where doing the hard thing is not hard for me anymore. I know this episode is going to be called The Hard Thing, pause, but...
Yeah, pause, extra pause.
I didn't put a pause on the thing, I'm sorry. But it's not hard for me anymore. It's really decision-making. I've said this to you before. For me, it's just, at this point, it's making micro decisions every single day to keep this thing moving forward, as far as my vision, as far as my life, as far as my health, family, all that stuff, wealth. It's just decision-making every day. And if that means I got to remove some things, we've talked about that before, too. If I got to move on and ghost you, if it's ghosting, I guess, yeah, I'm guilty of it, for sure.
Yeah, it depends on what the hard thing is, bro. Like, people be going through real life every day. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
true.
This stuff to them may be like, man, that's bullshit. Like, man, that shit ain't hard. Like, who cares about that? Like, you know, it's people that be dealing with.
Who cares about what?
Like, who cares about
the conversation pieces?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just some of the examples that we might have given, because they might be dealing with, like, you know, death or something. You know, what I'm saying? Something extreme, whatever. even just thinking about, speaking of death, like, because it's been heavy on my mind. Man, have you been seeing those clips?
Of what? The war?
The war, yeah.
Oh man, why would you do that to me right now? Yeah, I happened to see, we're pivoting. I saw one that made me actually cry. Actually, I was right before I was putting my daughter to sleep. It was my turn. We take turns, and I was sitting in the chair in her room, and she was falling asleep. And I had my phone, and she had just fallen asleep, and I was looking at just the news, just keeping up with it, because I'm curious. We've talked about that. There's different relationships in play, so that could easily go left real fast if everyone doesn't mind their business a little bit, right? And so I saw the guy running from the car with his daughter, and she was dead. Yeah. Trigger warning, she was just lifeless. And there was a baby, too, that was lifeless. And I was like, oh, my God. And I'm holding my daughter. And I'm like, I hope they figure this shit out, man, because I don't want that coming to where we live. I don't want that same, phosphorus being sprayed on people. That happened. They doused the whole city of Gaza with phosphorus and shit, which has lifelong effects on your skin, your respiratory, everything. It's horrible. So stuff like that, I don't want that to be here. Like, that could easily happen here. If we don't play our cards right and we get too involved or, move the needle one way or the other, it could go south. So for me, man, that is hard. That actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't keep up with politics entirely every day, but I read a lot about this one, and that shit is scary. Yeah. They are throwing out terms like World War III, and that is not something I ever wanted to hear in my lifetime. So I am a little concerned. I'm not overly thinking about it every day, no, but I'm definitely concerned about it.
Man, we talking about doing the hard thing. Even just like with this situation here, it's like, man, when I think about it, it's like, okay, so most Palestinians, I'm assuming, are like Muslim.
As far as I know, don't get me the line.
Could be. Like,
I know
Israel.
Israel.
Like
I know
Palestine.
Israel's a primarily Jewish state, as far as I know. That's primarily what's there, and I know that it's primarily a religious thing. The war. That's what the basis of it is. I don't know all the details. But yeah, something like that. I know there's some that are like, there was a lady they did an interview with. She said that we're not all Muslim. A lot of us are, but there were Christians. There were all. There was different.
Yeah,
there was
but
different
that's like
practices.
the majority for that sect.
From what I know, yes.
Yeah, it's what he's saying. Yeah, as an assumption, and it's like, man, even just being of like different religious belief systems and stuff like that. It's like, man, when you see just that type of carnage, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, from the babies to the just all the craziness from all the bombs and just all of that. It's like, dang, bro, like, it makes you think, man, is there such thing as like overkill, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, man. So the empathy and sympathy, even if, your belief systems may be different, it's like, man, seeing that like impacts everybody.
The hardest thing to do is just stay in your own shit. Again, letting people just be. That travels all the way up the ladder too. We don't have to have the same ideologies as other countries. We don't have to have the same ideals as the neighbor next to us. We don't. We all go to bed and sleep at night. We eat food. We piss. We shit. We bleed. We die. We breathe. We all just want to be alive and enjoy our life in whatever capacity that is. So I don't understand war. I'm not an advocate for war. I hate it. I know that it generates a lot of profit. I know it increases profit margins for sure, because it costs like $60,000 to outfit one soldier. So I get it's a money machine. It is. And you got to get all these planes and bombs and bullets. All this stuff costs money. So it generates money, but I don't like it. I don't like war. Yeah, especially at the expense of people. I don't like war.
Yeah, especially when it's just innocent civilians who have
it's sad.
Nothing to do with nothing, who don't want war, who don't want to fight, who wish that they could find some sort of common ground to, just be at peace with one another. And like, those are the people who ultimately, are in like the biggest line of fire.
I hate us over here trying to choose a side like we really know what the fuck is going on. We know what we see. I've seen a lot of people choosing, like Sean King, posted everything about Palestine and nothing about Israel. Then you go to one side, another outlet is posting everything about the other side and nothing. It's like, I don't have a dog in the fight. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't care what side it is. I just don't want war, period. I don't want anyone shooting anyone dousing anyone, no bombs, no nothing. I don't like it. I don't like the one in Ukraine, Russia. I don't like that one either. I don't like war. We've been through too much to continue to have war. So to answer your question, doing the hard thing in this scenario is a ceasefire. That's probably going to be the hardest thing, because there's now egos involved.
Yeah. I mean, or even just in this country, as far as doing the hard thing, is like, even just going back to like belief systems, it's like, okay, I understand you may believe one thing and you may believe another thing or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, man, like, where's your humanitarianism? Like, to the degree
People don't
in which
have that anymore.
it's like, man, you gotta not necessarily put your beliefs to a side, but it's like, man, you still have to tap into like humanity and like empathize and sympathize with innocent people that are like being like killed.
I think we've lost that though.
Empathy and sympathy.
Yeah, everything's too quick. I mean, you can scroll through 100 stories in less than 3 minutes. You can just choop. People don't have empathy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I saw some of that stuff and scroll right down to a boxing video. Like, and
bro,
it wasn't intentional, but like when you're on TikTok, it doesn't have any real rhyme or reason.
That's sad. Ooh, ramen noodles. Like, man,
that's how it is. So I think that's fucked
bro.
up. But I think that I don't think we have that. So letting people just be, being able to do the hard thing, which is say, hey, you live your life your way, I do it my way. That's not, people don't care.
Yeah.
They clickbait, they scroll, they see what they want to see, they say what they want to say. It has no impact, or it does. My words travel further than I think they do. People don't seem to care about that either. And then when you look at it on the big scale, you have war. So I don't think that people are going to do anything that we just said in this show today. Do the hard thing, personal brand, making good decisions. That shit, people don't care.
They don't care for the most part.
No.
But hey, to the 6 or 7 of y'all that do,
Wow.
who do want to actually like change their life and mindset, it's possible. It's possible. I'm not gonna say
They'd
you
rather
don't
us
do it,
get
but
out
it's
here and talk
possible,
about
though.
our sex stories again.
Yeah, they want to know who back getting broke and who
Oh,
had body counts and 35 body counts.
He is out of
They
control.
want to hear about that. They want to hear about
Bullshit.
Charleston White beefing with who next? Who he beefing with now?
Trump's toupee and all this other shit. They want to hear about bullshit. But there is a silver lining to this particular conversation. They do the hard thing. Take your personal brand seriously. Do some self-work. Realize how you present to the world. And don't give a damn what anyone else thinks. And don't give a damn what anyone else does either. There's that too. Let people just be. We don't have to have war. We don't have to beef. We don't have to fight, argue. We can even have a debate. Not even a disagreement. A debate is what I prefer.
Did you say let people be?
Let people be.
People just won't let people be, bro. Like, dang, why can't you just let me be?
Because then that wouldn't serve my ego. That's why I feel. That's how it's an ego thing.
It's an ego thing?
If I'm forcing my ideology on you, that's egotistical of me. If I'm forcing you to believe, or if I'm forcing what I believe onto you, and you're not agreeing with me and I'm mad about it, that's ego.
Why can't a person be mad about it?
Why the fuck do you care? I don't care if Becky has braids or wants to wear white shoes, blue shoes. I don't care. You can come in here looking like me every day if you want to. I appreciate it. Or you can come here and wear what you wore last time. I don't care. I don't care. I just appreciate the person sitting next to me.
No.
And if it ain't working, it's not working. I don't fight with nobody. I don't fight. You just don't hear from me anymore.
No, I feel like. So I wanted to ask those questions those way because it's like, bro, like think about it. If you find yourself being upset because a person like disagrees with you or didn't do something that you wanted or preferred, or I wouldn't have did it like that. Damn, come on, man.
Then go do it your way.
You know what I'm saying?
Do your own shit.
Come on, man.
If you don't like the way that person's doing, it's like if you work at a job and you don't like the way the shelves are getting stocked. Open your own damn store, stock your own shelves, build your own space.
But you're not gonna do that.
No, you're gonna
That takes too much effort. It's way easier to just talk about your shit.
Yeah, it's lazy.
Way easier.
It's lazy.
I'd rather just criticize your shit, not just.
You know how much work
whatever.
it takes to stand in your own shit and do your own thing?
Too much. That's how
It is hard.
Too much.
But nobody wants to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
That's what it takes, though. And once you do that and you have an appreciation for what that looks like, then doing the hard thing becomes the easy thing because you're in your own lane.
Absolutely.
Create your own space.
And you never know like how addicting the feeling of like success and like execution may actually be. And dang, like, man, that'd be crazy. Imagine it'd be too much like right if like people got addicted to completing what they started.
Man, every time I clap that clapperboard and it's a new number on there for a new episode, and if someone's sitting in that seat to talk to me, I feel blessed every time.
For sure.
I feel grateful. Every single time she says I'm downstairs, I'm like, she could have said, fuck off, I'm not doing this shit today. Every time I send the file to John and he says, I got you, I'll have it back to you in an hour. This is all blessings, bro.
Absolutely.
People don't have to care about you. And when they do, appreciate it. But if you find that people don't and they don't like what you do, just be confident in what you got going on. That's it.
Absolutely.
You don't got to go piss on anyone else's parade. Just do your own thing, man.
Just do your own thing, man.
Yeah.
Do your own thing. Don't worry about what people got to say, bro. You always going to have haters. You always going to have critics. Unnecessary and sometimes necessary.
I take it all. Honestly, I can't. Like my mom used to always tell me, count it all joy. It's like if it's bad, say thank you. If it's good, say thank you. So I pray for the good and the bad. I say thank you for everything that happens to me because it all equates to where I'm at and where I'm going. So yeah, no,
That's wisdom.
I think that it's a wise.
And that's it. That's the wisdom that Drew is gonna leave y'all with.
That's where these grays in my beard came from, I guess. Well, as always, wait, you want to say something? We about to get it. You want to say something?
Oh man, you just dropped that bomb.
Did I?
On it, man?
Go ahead, push whatever you want to push. Have a glass. I'm.
That would be the closest button to me.
The boards.
That would be
God damn it!
button to me. I know it.
No, that's not it.
My bad. What you say? You said, now didn't he just tell me push any button I wanted to? So I said any, mini, money. You stupid.
Right. That's how you feel. That's how you,
whatever.
Yeah, you knew what it was. I think that's how you just. That's how you feel.
Nah, I never saw that.
Tell them how you really feel. Tell on yourself.
I feel like people should take some of the gems that you dropped today and take it to heart, man. I feel like they should take some of them gems to heart, bro. Which is,
but it was you too. You had some valid points as well.
Man, hey, to each his own, whatever.
Do the hands.
But nah, man, people should definitely take it to heart. Like, if you just, why you do that?
Why do what?
Why you grab your face like that when I started talking?
Because
anyway.
I'm used to having a big beard. I'm usually stroking it when I'm thinking.
Oh man, this guy.
Pause again. Jesus, that sounds
Please,
terrible.
man.
Yeah, but go ahead, man.
But nah, man, go ahead, wrap it up.
Yeah, no, that's it, man. You guys don't forget to come out to the live show November 10th.
For sure.
He'll be there probably telling on himself after a few beers. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, you sure don't want to hear what I want to tell on under the influence.
I do. Please, B-roll will be. She'll be doing B-roll. We got something else doing B-roll. It's gonna be a lot of cameras around. I hope that you tell on yourself. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna not only tell on myself, but when I go down, the whole ship do too. So I'm telling on everybody.
Okay, let's not give him any alcohol
All
whatsoever.
Right, yeah.
Celestial, please take note. If you're in the neighborhood, drive by Celestial. They're right outside downtown Dallas. Celestial Beerworks. They are our brand partner. They are awesome, beautiful people over there. Tell them we sent you. They'll give you 15% off. The ticket link on Eventbrite is up. It's hot. It's rolling. Go ahead and get tickets.
Go get that.
I just got the shirts. They're about to get pressed up, so that's awesome. Stage is almost done. We are working. We are grinding this thing out
together, man. You're at the finish line.
This will be the last episode until sometime in November. We got to take a break and get ready for this live show. So this 57, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see y'all back in November. The live show will be the next episode you hear from us. So if you don't get it, go get it. If you don't have it, go get it. Excuse me. You don't have the tickets, go get it.
Go get that.
Yeah, please.
Link in bio?
Link in bio.
Link in bio.
Link in bio, the Prophetic Discourse. Becky, you want to say something before we go from the back? I'm going to keep messing with her too. I keep trying. It's going to happen one of these days. Becky says bye, y'all. As always, we appreciate you for listening. We thank you for tuning in. We hope that you learn. We hope that you grow. We hope that you evolve. And, of course, come back and kick it with us all over again. Be prophetic, all that stuff. Bye. See you later. Bye. Adios. Oh, yeah, all of it. Bye. We prophetic.